Guys, Wesley here. Welcome to another tutorial of our school management system. So yesterday we did the setup for the system. We managed to do the that is the institution profile. We managed to capture the institution name, and see the motto, the vision, the school email, the contact, and all that. So we did all that yesterday. Apart from that, we went ahead and we captured class details where we were able to get the classes, and we created the stream for those classes. So we have grade 1 here, and we have grade 9 as the classes that we did yesterday or the other video. So what I want us to do today is I want us to move on and do a few things. And today I want us to start setting up the school itself, and I want us to start with the terms, the term themselves. So I'll scroll down here from the navigation or the sidebar menu, and I'll go to terms here and our term templates here, and I want to create the terms for this academic for this year. So I'll click on term and here I'll do term 1 here, and I'll give it an order. Now an order is how you want them to be displayed. 0 is the highest when it comes to computer, so the next is I'll go to term 2. I'll give it an order 1, the last one will be order 2, so that 1 0 will be at the top, and so on. So I'll click on create and create another one, and this will be term 2. I'll give this an order of 1. I'll create another one, then the last one term 3. This will have an order of 2 here, and I'll click on create now. Done. So if I now go to the terms templates here, I'll go to the terms templates. Here are our terms. So term 1, term 2, and term 3. So all the terms are done. They are set up. So that is how we work, how we create the terms. Perfect. The other thing I want to do is I want to create the academic year itself, because we don't have that. Then I'll navigate to the subjects and all that. So I'll scroll back up, and we have the academic calendar here. So the academic calendar does a few things that you need to know. The first thing is the academic calendar displays the exams that are ongoing within the institution. It displays activities that are happening within the institution, events that are happening within the institution, and any academic day that you have, any break that you have, in displays that. I'll show you that in a moment. But first of all, let's go to the academic years here, and I want us to create the year. So at the moment we don't have any, so I'll do new academic year, and we'll go with the year 2026 here. Then the status by default is always inactive, so I'll give this an active status to make it an active year, so that we'll be able to work on it. Then I'll click on the create button here, and that one is set up. So if I now go to the academic years, you can see 2026 here, it's active, and you can edit it, you can view, and you can sync class sessions. I'll explain that later. So let's go to the terms now and see what happens. So now you can see our terms here. So the system automatically picks. Remember, you created the terms from the template here. So those terms, the system will pick those terms, the term 1, 2, and 3, and it will create them for the academic year. So the academic year 2026 has the 3 terms, 1, 2, and 3. But by default, they come as inactive. So each term you have to activate these terms to make them usable. So I'll click on edit here for term 1. Click on edit, and I'll first of all change the status to active. And the start date, I'll say this term began on January, let's say the 5th there, and this term will be ending in April. Let's talk of April 10th, like that, and I'll click on save changes. And, as you can see, the changes have been saved there. So if you go to terms now, you have one active term that you can be able to work with. So let's confirm that. Yeah, and here you see we have an active term that is working. That is now, that is how you do, or how. So next time you will come to edit the term 2, and you put the start date and the end date, and change the status to active or inactive. So the other things I said in the calendar, let's go back to the calendar. I said the calendar can show activities that are happening within the school. For example, lesson this particular day, 25th to Okay, let's say 24th, 25th year, we have a midterm. So if I click on this, if I click on that date, it will bring these activity, these are drop down here that has academic and all those. These are the same things that you are seeing here. So you can enter them from these navigations here, but I find it easier doing it from the calendar itself here. So I'll click on a new academic break here. And yeah, let's just say that you have a midterm break here. And the start date, that is, we say starting today. And the end date, we say it will be on 26 there. So brief description here, just say a short break. Okay, short break from learning, something like that. So you just click on create, or if you want to do another one, you just click on create and do another. So I just click on create. So that is done. So you can see we have the midterm break here. Now the teachers when they log on their portal, they'll be able to see this activity also. The parents and the students, when they log into the portal, they'll also be able to see these activities so that they'll know whatever is happening. So that is one way of doing that. The other thing I said is that if I click again, you can see these other things here. The exam, if you have exams that you need to set up, let's say you have the midterm exam or the end term exam. When you do that exam or you set that exam, it will appear on the calendar so that the parents on their end, the students on their end, the teachers on their end, they know that this particular day, from this particular day, we have an exam happening. So these ones will come in when we get to the exam part, and we'll be setting up the exam. You'll be able to see that. Uh, the other thing is an academic event. If you have an academic event that you need to set up, then you can be able to do the same thing. You click and you set the academic event. But now for the academic event, there's something I want to show you. Where click on academic event is different. You can see the color, just ignore this, just the color you want to give that event, it doesn't matter. Then the start and the end term. But there is this thing here, the system monitors attendance of the students. We have the online attendance register. So if that activity will be affecting the attendance, then you enable this, that it will affect the attendance, so that when the system is doing the calculation of the attendance of learners, it will remember that this day it was affected, and it will not, or it will factor that in when doing the calculation of the attendance. So that is the other thing I was talk about. So speaking of attendance, to set up the attendance, you need to go to the academic days here under the academic calendar. Academic days. Now, these are all the days of the week. Now, how many days do you teach in your school? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those are the academic days. These are the days that will be factored in on the sorry for that, on the register. So you have to set these days up so that the register will be able to work and will be active. So I'll set these up and I'll save them. Then when we key in our students, we'll go to the register and we'll confirm this. So that is it. That is done. So we've done the term, we've done the academic year, and we've done an event or a break, and we've also done what, the academic days. So we are good. We are good on that section. Perfect. So that section is very good. So the next thing I want us to do now is I want us to jump into the subjects so that we do create a few subjects for our school so that we'll be able to see what the system does the subject. So I'll click on new here. So I'll go to the subject, click on new subject, and I'll give this subject a name. Let's start with mathematics. I'll start with mathematics. Then subject category. Now we don't have anything. We've not set the categories right now, but we have the subject categories here. So the subjects category is basically in the older system, the 844. The categories we used to have the technical, the sciences, the humanities, and so on. So that is where you do the categories here. Remember, it is the system is very dynamic. You can do all that. You can set whatever system you want it to take, and it will take that. So in this case, I won't set that up, but in case you want, you can always set the categories. Then when you come to the subject, you can be able to select the categories from here. So is this subject compulsory? If it is, you turn that on. Then the color, you need to give this subject. This is not necessarily, but you need the color code just to separate your subjects. You can do that. Subject initial, people always do this as a math. Then again, the sort order, you can leave that as that. Then the class pertaining, or the class that will be doing that, the subject. So you can allocate them from here, or you can do, let me allocate this from here. Then I'll show you the other one later on. So I'll select those classes there, select that way, and I'll click on create, and create another one because I want to create another subject. The other subject I want to create here is English category again, compulsory. So this time I'll leave it not compulsory so that you see again it will still work. So it's not a must that it has to be set. It's compulsory. And again, all these classes do English. Then I'll do create and create another one. Then I'll do another one here called environmental. So if you have kids in CBC or whatever, you know that environmental is for the lower classes. So in this case, I'll go with the grade 1s for environmental, and I'll not do it for grade 9s because anyway, I'm not sure. I don't get how back in grade 9. So that's, so I'll do that and click on create. So that is done. Then I'll add a few more subjects here. I'll add CRE, CRE again. For this one, I think all of them must do that. Then click on create. Okay, and let me do a few more. Have I done Kiswahili? Yes, I've done Kiswahili. Yeah, any subject I should think of. Let me think of something like ICT. ICT is always there. Again, I'll call it ICT. I can say that this is done by all the grades again. And I'll click on create another one. And I'll click here and I'll do something one language like French. And I'll say that this is done by the grade 9s. Yeah, so create now. That's done. So if I go back to subjects now, and I go to subjects, here are my subjects. So you can see the color code that I was putting here, the compulsory one is there, and so on. So this is how you do the setup of the subjects, and you can always edit here and you do whatever you need to do for the subjects. Now you can sort these subjects in any order that you want them to appear on the report form, and for you to do that, you click on this button here and will give you the sorting order. So I can say that I want CRE to be before environmental that way, and I want ICT to be again before environmental, so that when you print the reports, it will be mathematics, English, CRE followed all the way, and French will be the last. Once you're happy with that, you just click on OK there, and that order is saved in the system. So we have our subjects there. The subjects are ready. That's good. So the other way I was telling you that you can manage this subject is if you come to classes here, you can see our classes here. So in case I want to manage the subjects done by this particular class, I can click on subject, and you can see the subjects that we allocated them. So if this class decides that they are not doing CRE, you can just click on CRE to remove it, and you click on submit. So when you'll be recording your marks, this class grade 1E will not be able to have CRE students for that. So I'll click on that, just confirm that it worked, and I'll turn CRE back on and click on submit. So that's how you work with the subjects. That's how you work with the subjects. The other thing I think I want to do is I want us to set up the grading, because we need that. We need that when we are to calculate or to set up our scores. So it will be this CBC grading. Now, for us to be able to do that, we need to come to exams. Here, exams. And from exams, there is the grading template. That's what we want. So at the moment, nothing is there. So we need to create. These. We need to create this ourselves. So what you do is you click on the new grading template here. Then give this template a name. So I'll call this CBC. and click and create. Now I want to show you something else. This system is very dynamic. I said if you have, let's say like the senior secondary now that they have grade 10 and they have the normal 844, you can do two grading so that the system will use whichever grading for the specific learners. For the 844s, you use the specific grading, and for the CBCU. So you can click on this and create another one. And then let me just show you, and I can do another grading here for the 844. So I'll click on create. Now these are two different gradings. You will see that in a moment. So you go to the grading templates here. You can see we have the two gradings here. We have the CBC and we have the 844. So you can manage them differently. Let me show you how. So let's start with the CBC. Click on the grading scale here, and let us start the scales now. So click on add new scale, then the minimum score here. Now I'm not good at these things here, but let me try and find them, then we input them together. CBC grading. Yeah, so the minimum score 1, the max score 10. This is the lowest. The grading is always BE, BE, DE2. Then the point is 0.5. Well, I'm not sure. You can always correct me, and again, you can always come and edit this. So add the scale and add another one. Then the next one from there will be 11 to 20. And this will be a BE, a BE1, if I'm not wrong, and the point will be 1 point. Then add another scale. Then here, the other one will be a 21. 21 to 30. This will be A, E. I'm not good at these things. A2, and the point will be, I think, 1.5. Not sure, but we can always come back and edit it. I'll add the next one. The next one will be 31, 40. I'm not strong. 31 to 40. This is A1. A1 has 2 points. Then add another one. This one will be now 41. Sorry, 41 to 50. 41 to 50. Let's have a 41 to 57. 41 to 57. And meeting expectation too. And the point is always, I'm not sure about the points, so I'm just filling them in. So we can check that. Then the next one grade will be 58. The lowest 58 to the highest, which is 74. This will be an E1, and that will be 3. Now, I'm not sure about these points, so I'm just filling them in. I'm not also sure about this, but I just want to show you how the CBC trading works. And the next one is 75 to 89. This is E2. This is 3.5. Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure about that. The last one will be a 90 to 100. And this is E1. This will be 4 points. And add that to scale. And when you're done, just click on save. So that is the CBC grading for that. So let me remove this last one here. That is empty. And click on save again. Okay, that one is saved. So the last field here was making not to save. So the grading is done. So if we go back to the grading here now, where is it? Exams and grading template. So our grading for CBC is done. So I want to do something short here on the 844 so that you also see the same thing. Then I'll show you when you're setting up the exams how you choose between the two. So 844, add scales here, 844. Then the minimum score always here. Let's say I start with the lowest here, which is always 0 to 29. 0 to 29 is always an E, and the points are always 1 point. So add another scale, then I'll do 30, 34 is always at mine, I think. The point is 2, and I'll add one last one just for demonstration purposes. Because we'll not use these, I'll skip all these and I'll go to 90, do something like 100. This is the famous A, and the points are always 12. And I'll get done with that, and I'll click on save, and our scale is saved. So we have to sorry for that. So we have, where is it, the grading. So there we are. So we have our 2 grading scales set up and ready for use. So well and good. So the other thing I want us to do is I want us to create the assessment templates. Now the assessment templates are the things like the opening exam, the midterm exam, and so on. So all that is set under exam. So exam assessment templates, and at the moment there is nothing. So I'll click on a new assessment here, and I'll just set up 2 exams, and I'll call these a midterm exam, and the total marks, how much marks or what marks does this exam account to the final. So I'll give this let me go with a 30. Then just a description, a small description, doesn't matter, you don't need to include it. You don't have to do that. Then the weight here. Now the weight at the moment is 0. Now the weight here, let me take this example. You have an exam that is done out of 30, but you want this exam to be rounded off or calculated into 100. Now this is where the weight comes in. So if you want this to be converted into 100, now your weight here will be 100. But if you want this exam to be just the raw scores out of 30, then you just leave it at 30, and the weight you leave it at 0. It will not affect anything. Just leave it as that. So if you're happy with that, just click on create and create another one, because I want us to do another one here for end of term. Again, the total marks. So if the midterm was out of 30, then the end of term should be out of 70, so that this accumulates to 100. That'll give you an order of 1 because the mid was an order of 0. Then I'll click on create, and that one is created. So if you go to assessments here are our assessments. So the mid and the term, again, you can sort them. You can see this one. You can click on this, and it will allow you to sort the order of how you want them to appear. If you want the end to be at the first, which doesn't make sense, the midterm to be whichever order. So just click on save, and that is how they appear on the report, the mid and the end. So that is it. That's how you do the setup of the school sim. So we've covered a few things here. And the last thing that I want us to cover is I want to see how to create a teacher, so that you'll be able to allocate subject teachers and class teachers. So click on teachers as the next item. Click on teachers. At the moment there is none, so I'll click on new teacher here and give this guy a name. Let's go by the name that. So the initials, doesn't matter. The phone number, any random phone number, 788 0597. If you want the system, call that number, then we will set up the system for you. Gender, male. Then very important, this part here, link user to an account. Now if you want your teachers to be able to log into the system and be able to use the system and record marks, then you need to do this. You need to link them to the system. So what you need to do is you need to click on this plus button here, then you do again, the name is Wesley, then the email that they'll be able to use to log into the system. So lastly, so that is the email, then the password that they'll use to log in again into the system. So, so that is that. Then just click on create. So you can see now, I don't want to save that. You can see the user has been automatically selected here. So they'll be linked with the account when you click on the create button. So let's do that. Click on create. There we are. So that guy has been created as a user into the system. So if I go back to teachers, you can see the teacher. Let's see. So you can see the teacher is already there. Now, since you have the teacher here, the next thing I want us to do is I want us to go back to classes here so that you allocate this teacher classes here, and I want to come to class assignment. Select the year, select the term. You can see the classes here. So the class teacher, you need that guy to be the class teacher, and you just come to this drop down and you pick the teachers from here. So at the moment, this guy here. So and automatically you can see the system saves when you do that. So this guy can be the class teacher for the grade ones. And there, yeah. So the teachers are done. So that is it. The other thing you can do is if you come to manage here, this manage button here, you can do subject teacher and attendance and so on. So we don't have student and we don't have attendance, but we can do the subject teacher first of all, then we'll do these ones later. So click on subject teacher here, and you can see all the subjects here. So your work is just to assign the teacher. So I can say subject teacher for this here. This guy will be teaching ICT in that class. Then the others, you just do the same. And once you're done with that, you submit. And now this thing is very important because when the teacher logs in and they want to enter their scores, they must be assigned a subject. Otherwise, the system will not detect them because they are not being assigned any subject. The teacher will not be able to enter any score. So once you set up the system, ensure that each teacher is assigned the subject that they are teaching so that when they log into their portal, they'll be able to see that class and that subject and enter the scores. Otherwise, they'll not be able to see the entire exam. So confirm that each teacher is allocated their subject they are teaching, and when you're happy, you click on submit. Good. So I think for today we can stop it at that so that we don't so that the video doesn't become so long. But hope you've gotten the concept for today. So for today, we've done the work with the academic calendar, we've worked with the exams, the templates, we've done the term, we've done the teachers, and we've done the subjects. So you can see the dashboard is still updating. Now we have at least one teacher. You can see the subjects we have there, and it has already detected that we are in term one, which is the current term. So we'll keep on adding more, and as we add them, we'll keep on seeing the system grow. So I think for today, let us stop there. Then we meet as we work on or we walk through the other modules. Again, if you want this system, just contact us and we will install it to your school and you start using. The system is very dynamic and you can use it under any environment. So